The sentence pattern for Standard 6th. What is a sentence? A sentence is a group of words that make sense. It must contain a verb, the action word. Now take a look at the picture, and there are 3 sentences coming up on screen. Mother cooked. Mother cooked the food. Mother cooked the food for the party. All 3 sentences does make sense. They have the verb cooked. The verb is the most important part of a sentence in order to make sense. Let's observe these sentences. Rohan reads a book, and Rohan reads a book in the library. Now, based on the 3 sentences, we have a table there with the subject, the verb, the object and the extension, the 4 parts of a sentence. A sentence can be divided into 4 parts. The subject is Rohan, the action is reads, object a book, and the rest of the sentence in the library is the extension. The 4 parts of a sentence, let's recap: the subject, the verb, the object and the extension. What is the subject? Something that we talk about. It could be a noun or a pronoun or maybe a thing. Anything, any person or group of people is the subject. The verb is the action word. Object, 2 kinds could be there: the direct object and the indirect object. And finally, we have the rest of the sentence as extension. It's known as the adverbial. Let's learn something more about the object. The object of 2 kinds. The direct object is the answer to the question what. This question is posed to the verb. The indirect object is the answer to the question whom. Both these questions are asked to the verb, and the answers form the objects. One could be direct and the other is the indirect object. The extension shows where, when, how, why the action takes place. Hence, it is called the adverbial extension. Now, let's revise. Sentence pattern, 3 types. The first one on screen: subject, verb, object and extension, 4 parts. In the second sentence, there is no subject. The sentence begins with the verb, the object and the extension that follows. And the third type is where we have the subject, the verb, 2 objects and the extension. So we call it the double objects. Let's check. First sentence: King Akbar loved the courtiers in his kingdom. Who are we talking about? King Akbar, subject. Action, loved, verb. Loved whom? The courtiers. That's the indirect object from the answer question whom. In his kingdom, the extension. Next sentence: I include fruits and vegetables in my diet. Who are we talking about? I, subject. Verb, include. Include what? Fruits and vegetables. That is the direct object. In my diet is the extension. Look at this table. Rohit and Suresh bought a gift from the shop. What is the subject here? What are we talking about? We are talking about Rohit and Suresh. Subject. Action, bought. Bought what? A gift. Direct object. From the shop is the extension. Sometimes a sentence may not have a subject. Take a look at this. Take the book from the table. No subject. So we need to give it a subject. So we can see that you can be used as a subject. So we understand it as you take the book from the table. You, subject, take the verb. The book, direct object. From the table, extension. Sometimes we have verbs with two objects in a sentence. Let's take a look at this. My aunt's neighbor gave me a gift for my birthday. Subject, who are we talking about? My aunt's neighbor. Action, gave. That's the verb. Gave what and gave whom. Gave what? A gift. That's the direct object. Gave whom? Gave me. Me is the indirect object. And the rest of the sentence, for my birthday, is the extension. Please note, we ask two questions to the verb in order to get the objects. What or whom? Accordingly, one is the direct object and the other is the indirect object. Let's take some more examples with two objects in a sentence. I gave the beggar a rupee from my pocket. Sunil showed his friend the gift in the box. My mother sang me a song this morning. All the people gave the man some clothes for the journey. In all the sentences here on screen, the red words are the indirect objects, the answers to the question whom. And the words in green are the answers to the question what. They are the direct objects. So let's revise. Direct objects are the answers to the question what. Indirect objects, answers to the question whom. Both these questions are posed to the verb. Now let's divide the sentences into subject, verb, objects and extension. Let's go for the first one. I enjoyed swimming in the holidays. Subject, I. Verb, enjoyed. Enjoyed what? Swimming. Direct object. In the holidays, extension. So now you have the second one. Close the door immediately. No subject. You close the door immediately. You, subject. Close, verb. Close what? The door. Direct object. Immediately is the extension. So you can now have the sentences on your screen, which you could do it by yourself. But I'd like to look at sentence number 4. Akbar's courtiers spoke the truth. What are we talking about? Akbar's courtiers, that's the subject. Spoke, verb, action. Spoke what? The truth. Direct object. No extension in this case. So we have many sentences coming up here. Please do this on your own in a table form so that you're able to get it more clearer in your mind. The last sentence, I'd like you to take note of it. Team spirit and courage bring success in the long run. What is the subject here? Team spirit and courage. Action, word, bring, that's the verb. Bring what? Success, direct object. In the long run, extension. So kindly do all this in the table form that is presented on screen. The first example is done for you. I enjoyed swimming in the holidays. I, subject, verb, enjoyed. Direct object, swimming. No indirect object, so I put a dash. In the holidays is the extension. Likewise, complete the entire exercise and put it into the table form presented on screen. Thank you and have a nice day.